Yeah. Thank you. Far too kind. Yeah. Ready? Let's go. Can I get an encore? Do you want more? Cook and roll with the Brooklyn boys. So for one last time, I need y'all to roll. Yeah. Now what the hell are you waiting for? After me, there should be no more. So for one last time, nigga, make some noise. Get him, Jay.
Who you know got better pods? Riddle me that. The rest of y'all know where I'm lyrically at. I absolutely love that song. Of course, it's coming from Jay-Z and Linkin Park's collaborative album, Collision Course. The song combines Linkin Park's Numb with Hova's Encore. And I couldn't think of a better song to start with a special podcast with our very special guest. Of course, I'm talking about the former governor and current congressman, the Honorable Charlie Crist. But before we get to him, I think it's important to acknowledge the general delusionment that most Democratic voters feel going into the 2022 midterms. The numbness is almost palatable and the apathy is real. This is no more felt than in the black community when speaking to potential voters. The excitement and fervor is gone from 2020. Now, whether it's because of rampant increase in the cost of living, the seemingly dwindling of financial opportunities, the constant attack and the castration of our voting rights, the destruction, devaluing, and diminishing of our beautiful black history, the hopelessness of our government who says one thing about our concerns and yet does something else, the questionable messaging, or maybe it's the lack of resolve displayed by our leaders to produce results, or the fact of black people can literally be targeted and murdered for simply doing nothing like going to the grocery store. I tell you what, the carrying of that grief and anger all the time internally and around us can feel like a Texas noose wrapped around our neck. All this breeds contentment and honestly disinterest in the political process. Honestly, black people are just tired. And well, we're particularly exhausted when it feels like our vote and our concerns don't matter. We're the backbone of this country, and yet it feels like our issues are treated like the toenail on the foot. And this is the environment in which Congressman Crist is seeking an encore to the governor's seat. Listen, I can't front, that is a tough sledding. How does a candidate who's literally been here before reinvent himself to voters who are disillusioned by the entire process? When voters sees a congressman or sees a Congress who's, which our member is a disgruntled member of, vote and provide hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight tyranny and fascism across the pond, and yet cry broke when Americans are simply asking for them to keep their campaign promises about a stimulus check, the whole thing doesn't come off as serious. The cost of 3 gallons of gas is greater than minimum wage. People literally can't even afford to get to work. Couple that with the fact that homelessness is on a rise in every major community, especially here in Central Florida. And this doesn't solely fall on Democrats, by the way. Take Republicans, for instance, who every chance they got, they wanted to blame Biden or chastise him for the lack of baby formula, only to turn around and vote no on the $28 million for baby formula. Let that sink in. Just think about it. $28 million and 192 Republicans voted no. Pure and simple, people are hurting, people are hungry, and most importantly, people are tired of the political games. Honestly, I don't believe for one second that America is quote-unquote a deeply divided nation on fundamental issues. The overwhelming majority of people in this country are in favor of progressive policies. Things such as the Affordable Health Care Act, or for affordable health care, easy access to voting, abortion rights, child care, food for babies, heck, even the decriminalization of cannabis. The poll numbers show that all these things are in fact popular. However, they are constantly ignored and overruled by the white wealthy interests that run our government and the base of the rabid right-wing extremists they empower and encourage to help uphold oppressive status quo. Look, nobody denies that DeSantis' run as governor has been a clinic on how to alienate voters and push coded supremacist ideals. Old boy's literally running around like he's Pac. He's not, by the way. The environment that is seemingly slanted very much in his favor, the question is, does this environment lend itself to defeat? Seeking a second act for the third time around, Congressman Crist is tasked with trying to convince voters, particularly black voters, that he is the answer to the great Florida equation. How do you break the almost 3-decade Republican hold over Florida's governor's mansion? Is he the one like Neo in the Matrix, or is he going to be just another casualty on the side of the road tossed by DeSantis on his eventual march to the White House? Can he restore the feeling of an electorate that is numb to the politics? Is the former governor on a political collision course with the current governor? Can he get an encore? And honestly, do we as voters want more? All these things are questions that need answers, and hopefully we'll get them on our podcast today. We're going to discover all these things together, so settle in. Welcome everybody to this beautiful journey, and let's go. This is Uncultured Bias Podcast, and I'm your host, Camara Williams.
So, Governor
Camara, it's an honor to be with you, sir.
No, it's an honor for you coming here.
I'm pleased to be here.
So
your office is
check this out.
super cool. Yeah.
I actually call you Charlie Hustle.
Why is that?
First of all, thank you.
Oh, Muhammad Ali? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The champ? Did you see Will Smith do it in the movie?
Yes.
Phenomenal job.
Yeah. I actually would say it was a good job, but I think it could have been better.
How so?
Because I felt like some of the things in the movie, it didn't really, like some of the acting performances. Like You see Malcolm X. I actually love the Malcolm X movie.
Malcolm X, incredible. Well,
right.
They depicted in that movie too.
Yeah. So
right?
So they did depict him in the movie, and Denzel's performance in Malcolm X was probably one of the premier performances.
Phenomenal.
But I call you Charlie Hustle for a reason, though.
Okay. All right.
Michelle Rayner Goolsby.
I love her.
Yes.
Love her.
In 2000, love her as well. In 2018,
yep.
When she was elected to office, I was a big supporter of her. Always been supportive of her.
I endorsed her.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And so,
you know how that came to pass?
How?
This is a cool story. You know John Morgan? You know, everybody knows who John Morgan is. Morgan and Morgan.
I've never heard of him.
Come on, man. Well, his son Matthew is a special human being.
Yeah.
Yeah, good heart, great soul.
Yeah.
And he called and asked me to consider endorsing her. And I got to know her, and that was an easy thing to do for me.
Yeah.
Right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
She's great.
Yeah.
So that night of her election,
Yeah.
she didn't even know you had you had her phone number, right? And so you called her, and she was in excitement of saying, "Oh, I'm so," and then it's like, "This number I don't recognize," and it was you calling to congratulate her.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with her,
Kamara, it's all about people, man.
But you're a great retail politician.
I love people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I said that night, I said, well, that's Charlie Hustle, because Charlie Hustle.
I take that as a compliment.
Now, it is because,
Thank
somebody that understands the importance of connecting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see a lot of like local politicians or even statewide.
Yeah.
They don't understand the importance of just a phone call and reaching out and creating a relationship.
Means a lot.
I thought like that was phenomenal. So, kudos to you on that one.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Can I share a story about how I learned that?
Yeah.
So I first ran for office a long time ago. 1986, I ran for the state senate in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And I lost in the primary. And the next day, I was working for professional baseball.
Okay.
The next day, I got a call from my local congressman, Bill Young. Nobody else was calling because I lost.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody calls when you win.
Right. The spoils of war.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The spoils of war.
Yeah.
You're a Renaissance man.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I'd say every time. But seriously, and so he called me as my congressman, and I thought it was, bigger than life.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's calling little old me?
Yeah.
And it just made such a lasting impression on me. That's why I always try to do it if I can.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do
unto others as you would have done unto you. They call it the golden rule, and I'm going to give you something right now.
Yeah?
I wear this every day.
What is this?
It says, practice the golden rule every day. It also says, vote for Charlie Crist for
governor.
governor.
Okay.
But seriously, the golden rule, if more of us would practice that, simply treat others like you want to be treated, right?
Right.
Respect. RESPCT. What's her name? Aretha Franklin?
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
It's important, and it's God.
Yeah.
God is here. You know what they say in the book? When two or more of us are gathered, He is here.
Yeah, He's present. Yeah.
So we got four, so He's here.
He's here.
It's real. It's real.
So I'm going to talk to you a little about your history.
Yes, sir.
You're played a little bit of football.
I did.
Yeah.
You ran a little track.
Ran a little track.
You must have been fast.
I must not been very good because I'm doing this, but I am.
This is cool.
But I'm just saying.
This is cool.
Wake Forest.
Yes, sir. Demon Deacon.
Demon Deacon.
ACC.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you actually
Sacramento State.
Very
Hornets.
good. Yep.
Yeah.
Very good. And so,
Yes, sir.
as a you're still a big football fan.
Love it.
So
Big Tom Brady fan too.
Yeah.
And Derek Brooks.
Derek Brooks,
My fellow
Seminole.
Yep.
You're familiar with what's going on with the NIL and the?
I'm not.
Okay, I'm talking with how college athletes are allowed to actually make money.
Get
off
compensated from their name ID and all that. Yes, I am.
Name, image, and likeness.
Yes, sir.
And how, like about 20 months ago, DeSantis, he signed a bill, or he pushed the bill.
Yeah.
Right. In order to.
He's a mess.
Yes, we're going to get into how much.
Okay.
How garbage he is. Right.
A hot mess.
Yeah, hot mess. And so he pushed the bill to get name, image, and likeness. Right.
Yes, sir.
Trying to get out in front of everything. This is before the NCAA actually, created the rule.
Yeah.
Now, it created this big mess because, this is funny because that's what DeSantis thing, we'll get into that, but it created this big mess because Florida created this rule that went into and was enacted last year. It's been in
Yes, sir.
service for a year now.
Yeah.
But it was prior to the NCAA rule. And now they're restricted from actually competing with other schools because, I guess now other athletes can make more money in different spaces.
I got you.
But the legislature or the bill that DeSantis pushed out, it really restricted to the point where I think the Florida State athletic director was saying we're at a disadvantage. Kids are leaving Florida to go to different states. I didn't know if you had an opinion on that. Just on
if kids should be able to make money.
No, but are you going? Would that be something you would do in your administration, like to try to maybe reverse it or push it, because make Florida schools, more competitive? As far as I know, college football is the religion here in Florida.
It is.
And would it be something that would be on your agenda to?
And you can relate to this too. We both were participating in college athletics, which is pretty special stuff, and I'm humbled by that. By the way, before I go there, what event did you do in track?
Long and triple.
Jump?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
And then I was on the B team for 100 and 200. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. It's not as impressive because, again, I'm here. but thank you.
Here is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So why Sacramento State?
My family actually.
Did you grow up in California?
No, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And then my family moved to,
Yeah. Cool. That's
good. Yeah, but your opinion, is that something you would consider for your administration, kind of reversing that or trying to make it amended so Florida schools can be a little bit more competitive?
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm a Floridian. I love Florida.
Right.
With all my heart, I love her. And I would want, the kids at Florida State and Central Florida and University of Florida and FAM, to all be able to do well by doing good. And if you're a great athlete and you have some name identification and you can get compensated for that in school, I don't see a problem with that. I'm a capitalist, a compassionate capitalist, though.
Okay, yeah.
Meaning that, if people are getting abused by corporation, I used to be attorney general. You got to defend and help people. It's all about people.
Yeah. So let's stick on DeSantis, and you mentioned you're a big Muhammad Ali fan. I'm a big Muhammad Ali fan. Mm-hmm. Styles make fights. Let's have an esoteric little theoretical conversation here.
Okay,
right?
Sure.
How would you evaluate him as an opponent, as far as a, if we're talking about boxing, what is he to you? Is he a brawler? What do you consider him?
Well, number one, the man's a bully.
Absolutely.
And that's pathetic.
Right.
And the way there was a video that went viral where he was at a podium at a press conference and kids behind him were wearing masks and he dressed them down.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy did that.
Right.
And you know what I think happened there, Camara? I think that we really got a glimpse into the lack of character and into the soul and his heart and the coldness of it.
But I would also say he's insecure.
Sad to say. And extremely insecure.
He's a small man.
Who gets mad at kids?
Small man with a big title.
Yeah. Well put.
Yeah. So the thought process though, like if assuming that you would get to meet him,
Yeah.
in the proverbial ring,
Yeah, sure.
have you made an evaluation of what type of opponent he is, as far as like how would you actually combat that? Because you mentioned he's a bully,
Yeah.
and how do you defeat bullies?
Take them on and take them out.
Yeah,
And that's what I'll do.
yeah, just direct.
I'm going to take him out,
Yeah.
politically speaking,
Right.
obviously. And yeah, I mean, my God, my parents taught me early on about bullies, and bullies are really wussies.
Absolutely,
No doubt about it.
no,
Because they try to be strong over people that have no opportunity to defend themselves.
yeah.
I have an opportunity to not only defend myself, but go on offense on them.
That's what I
I'm
wanted
an
to
old
know.
quarterback.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be aggressive towards him? Because sometimes I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of times people look at opponents and they're like they pump their brakes a little bit, and
Yeah.
they're afraid. And his thing is he tries to smother you with his personality and tries to overrun you.
I have no fear.
That's what I wanted to know.
I'm God-fearing,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Right. So
But I'm a Leo.
so's my wife.
Well, that's a good thing.
Good
Leo's a
company.
lion,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's a lion in me,
Okay.
and it doesn't come out often, but when it needs to, it's there,
Yeah.
and I'll be there.
Yeah. So
People of Florida need somebody who will defend them, who will beat this guy, and bring back the sunshine to the Sunshine State, because it's been dark during his administration.
That's a bar. That's pretty good.
It is
That's a
what it
bar.
is.
That's
The
a bar.
truth
Yeah.
is powerful, always.
So let me ask you,
Yes, sir.
assuming that, and you don't call me sorry.
It's how I was raised, and I respect you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Everybody does. Let me stop on that, if I might.
Yeah,
Everybody deserves respect.
absolutely.
We're all children of God.
Yeah,
So that's
Yeah.
where that comes from.
appreciate it.
He's the man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Assuming that voters give you another shot at this title fight
Yes, sir.
and the gubernatorial belt, proverbially speaking, just being.
It's a great analogy you're using.
Thank you.
It's
Appreciate
brilliant.
It. Thank you. In your 30, first of all, flattery gets you everywhere with me. So I just want to make
Well,
sure.
it's genuine.
I just want to make sure. Appreciate it. But listen, 30 years in public office. And have you ever faced someone like DeSantis?
Yeah, sure.
Who?
I don't know. I've had like 18 races. You know?
Jesus.
Actually, my record, including primaries, is
Yeah.
something like 18-4.
18-4.
I'm pretty grateful and humbled by that.
That's pretty good.
There's a guy named Tim McGraw,
Yeah.
country singer,
Yeah.
has a song that I absolutely love,
Yeah.
Always Be Humble and Kind.
Yeah.
And I don't see much humility in this guy.
Yeah.
He's arrogant.
Absolutely. So you face people like him.
Yeah, I mean, some would like him. He's kind of unique, though.
In what way?
I don't see much of. I don't think he's got a good heart, which is sad.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I wish he did.
I don't think he has a. This is my opinion.
Sure, of course.
I don't feel like he has a center. Like he's very much moved by whatever the political wind is.
No kidding.
And so
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, and so I see like he's very much reactive. This is part and parcel of how he operates. Like I was using the NIL, his thing, what he does. You see what Reedy Creek.
Tell the listeners what NIL stands
name,
for.
image, and likeness, right?
Perfect.
And so the bill he did 20 months ago, and
Yeah.
he just jumped out in front.
Yeah.
He tends to do that a lot and try to get in front of things in order to, increase his brand, increase his awareness. But he's not. He goes with the political winds.
He's the first politician I've ever heard of who is attacking Disney. It's mind-blowing.
Well, you know why he's doing that, right?
Tell me why, because I don't know.
It enhances his profile. It's not. He knows Disney's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
It's designed to increase his profile because he gains everything and loses nothing by attacking Disney. He gets to position his brand as somebody that is attacking the big quote unquote bully. He creates the bully.
But the irony is he's really the bully in that situation.
But we understand how politics work, right?
Yeah. No, I hear what
it's
you're
not
saying.
about what the reality is. It's what the framing of the message is.
Yeah.
And so he creates the message of the big bad bully, and I'm fighting, on quote unquote your behalf against this powerful thing.
I hear what you're saying, but in my humble opinion,
Yeah.
Disney's not a bully.
No.
He's using them. You're right. I think you've hit it.
Yeah.
Really, to try to enhance his profile.
Right.
But he's disappointing a lot of my fellow Floridians because I grew up, in St. Petersburg, my hometown.
Yeah.
And, to me as a kid, thinking about Disney World, I can remember going to Disney World the first time with my mom and dad and my sisters. I have 3 sisters. Well, I lost my older one, but had 3 sisters. And we all went together and I stayed at the Contemporary Hotel. It blew my you-know-what away.
Right.
I mean, I was amazed.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And now he's after it. It's weird.
So, considering that, and we're going to get into some
stuff.
stuff here.
Let's go there, man.
All right. 2014.
Yes, sir.
You ran against Rick Scott,
Correct.
aka Skeletor. And
Say that again.
Skeletor.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, why would voters think that this time is around is different as far as, because you lost Rick Scott by like 65,000? How much votes?
1 percentage point.
It was 1%. It was
1%.
I thought it was less than 1%.
It was a little less. You studied.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And so, why would you think? Because for honestly, Rick Scott is so unpopular.
Right.
DeSantis, just suppose that he's incredibly popular.
No, he's not. Do you like him?
I don't like him, but you look at the poll numbers.
Look at the poll numbers. He's under 50%. That's bad for an incumbent, my friend.
Oh, well, Rick Scott was like 40%. He won re-election against, not you, but,
right.
Alex Singh.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So, a person that even 50% is not bad. Yeah, it's terrible.
You need
General
50
public.
plus 1 to win, though.
Yeah,
bro.
but what I'm saying is that you have people who are still very popular. And we're going to consider him, they may not like him, but they can bifurcate his actions but the things he's doing. I want to get into that in a moment. But
cool.
Just answering the question,
yeah.
Why would this be different? Again, someone who's a little bit more popular than, let's say, Skeletor.
Okay.
Right? And I don't call him DeSantis, I call him DeSatan. But DeSatan still operates in a 50%.
Can I have a bumper sticker, please?
Yeah,
I know. I do too.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of folks call him DeSatan.
Yeah.
Why do you call him DeSatan?
Because the devil plays tricks and he knows how to manipulate.
Thank you. Yeah, he does. You're absolutely right. I want to show you something.
Yeah.
So, if I win the primary,
Yeah.
then we go head to head.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of people have heard the nickname DeSatan.
Right.
I want you to envision something.
Okay.
The 2 names on the ballot.
I know what you're going. I know what's happening.
Wait a minute. DeSatan versus...
Yeah, I know. I knew exactly what you're going to say.
Boom.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, I know.
What I'm doing is I'm showing my man our bumper sticker. And it's cool.
Yeah.
That's for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
What's it look like to you? Tell the people.
It has a star, Christian imagery, or Christian ideology. Mm-hmm. Chris, obviously, it's,
Can I tell you where the name came from?
Sure.
My grandfather, his name was Adam.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
First guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
His last name was not Crist. It was Christodoulos. He immigrated from the Mediterranean island, Cyprus, Greek island.
Yeah.
And
isn't that where Napoleon was? No.
A lot of people stopped off in Cyprus because it's kind of in a triangle area. Yeah. But so he immigrates when he's 14 years old, all by himself. Mm-hmm. Shined shoes for a living. When he got to Altoona, Pennsylvania, made $5 a month. I love him. Amazing man, my grandfather. At any rate, my father shortened it to Christ. But do you know what Christodoulos means in Greek?
I do not.
Disciple of Christ. Oh. It gets better.
Okay.
It gets weird.
No.
So his wife, my grandmother,
immigrated
from Lebanon.
Okay.
Just north of Beirut.
Yeah.
She was Christian.
Yeah.
Her name was Mary. Can't make this up, can you?
No.
Now, her last name, in Lebanese, it's Khoury, Khoury.
Okay.
Any idea what Khoury means in Lebanese?
I do not speak Lebanese.
Pastor.
Oh, wow.
Pastor, disciple of Christ. Right. It's a lot to live up to, bro. I'm trying, every day.
Heavy's a name.
It's more than a name.
Yeah, yeah. I love that, by the way.
You do?
I do. Yeah, that's dope.
History is important.
It is. It is.
On my mother's side, I'm English, Irish, and Swiss. So I am a mutt.
You are a Heinz ketchup bottle mixed with a bunch of stuff.
Better. I love ketchup.
So you talk about history is important.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about your history a little bit.
Okay.
let's say there's criticism. Let's say critiques. I don't say criticism. Let's say critiques.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
The critiques about your history, and particularly when you ran against Rubio.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, for those who are not aware, they should, because Governor Crist is the first person to not seek re-election in the gubernatorial seat, right? In Florida history.
I think that might be right.
Yeah, in Florida.
I'm not sure. I haven't researched it.
Right, but based on what I've seen,
It's probably correct.
okay. I'll accept it because my wife may not agree, but I'm always correct.
Ivory.
So yes, Ivory, and so very good, and so
People's names are important.
they are.
Yeah.
So you actually ran and you didn't
I lost.
re-election. You lost. But here's the thing where the criticism is, and it goes directly into, like they say, for like those in the black community because they have long memories.
Sure.
Marco Rubio won by, and I'm getting my memory here, 49.8%. Kendrick Meeks 20.7%.
Right.
And then you had 29. Was it?
Almost 30. Right.
Yeah, almost
That's
30%.
right.
29.4%.
Whatever it was. Yeah,
Right.
Sure.
So there are arguments that, because you ran as an independent
Yeah.
and Kendrick ran as a Democrat,
Yeah.
we ushered in, the nincompoop that is Rubio, right? And you, not only did you gave almost a green light, you split the vote, split the party vote. Mm-hmm. This is a critique, right?
That's fair.
And you split the party vote, but also a statewide black candidate was seeking office. You undercut him. How would you address this?
I didn't undercut him.
But that's the criticism, though.
No,
So
well,
okay.
that's fair. If somebody wants to feel that way, that's
No,
okay.
I know, but they're saying because of the independent, not you undercut him as far as campaigning, but
Right.
being an independent and then him being a Democrat, and
Right.
then
Right.
it split the vote.
Yeah.
So how would you feel about that, like that critique, or what are your thoughts on that critique?
I don't give it much water. I mean,
Yeah.
people have a right to think whatever they think, but I ran for the Senate
Yeah.
because at the time we're in the Great Recession.
Right.
And, where the place to get more money to help Florida was from the federal government.
Right.
Because they print it, right? and so that's why I ran for the Senate, to help my Florida.
Right.
And, it didn't matter to me who else was running.
Right.
I thought I would have a good opportunity to get there if things went well, and it didn't turn out well, but I learned a lot from the experience.
What did you learn?
I learned that you got to work as hard as you possibly can and be Charlie hustle, as you put it.
Yeah.
To make sure you get there, because people are counting on you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let them down in this race. I'm gonna beat this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Well,
going to be
first-
fun.
well,
I'm a
first-
happy warrior. I can't wait.
First, you got to get past the primary.
That's true, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, I take nothing for granted. You're absolutely right.
Right, correct. And so, as someone who you started off as Republican,
Correct.
and you ran.
You know why?
I have an idea, but you can tell me.
Because Mom and Dad were. It's the same reason I'm a Methodist.
No, my father's a Republican.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you?
No.
You're smarter than me.
But
But I saw the light.
Yeah.
I got to tell you the story about how that happened.
Okay.
How I became a Democrat.
Actually,
you
I think,
first.
I think I kind of know the story.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, let's test you.
Okay.
What was going on in my head?
All right. So let me tell you from
This
right.
is cool.
Let me
Yeah.
just say from right. And from what it was said, because we can actually get into this. In 2009, they call it the hug,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then in the hug, you actually embraced former President Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of Republicans...
He's my friend.
Yeah, and a lot of Republicans did not like that.
Yeah.
And so...
They hated it.
They hated it. In fact, this ties into that actual U.S. Senate race because at the time when you were a Republican, you were 20 points up over Rubio. Mm-hmm. And then you actually, after the hug, your numbers dropped under 20 points.
You know the history.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
sir.
so with that being said, it was what you said on the record that it was the hug that was the one that, and you said it was because of racist ideology within the party. You couldn't adhere to it. So then you wanted to go ahead and switch over to Democrat. Did I have it right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
There were several things that were leading me there anyway.
Yeah.
But that really was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, I would love to hear, like, what did I, if I'm missing any...
That was the most important thing. And the thing about it is that, I did hug him. We were at Fort Myers together. He
Yeah.
was there to get the Recovery Act passed and have a rally for it.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
I mean, really a good man. And it was an honor to be with him. And when I saw him there, the White House called my office. I'm the Republican governor of Florida, right?
Right.
To invite me. And some staff came into my office in Tallahassee and said, the White House has invited you to be with President Obama next week in Fort Myers. Do you want to go? And I said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
They said, Governor, are you sure? And I said, yeah, why do you ask?
Yeah.
They said, well, you know he's a Democrat.
Yeah.
I said, he is the President of the United States of America.
Yeah.
And I am going to go see him. He's coming here to help Florida.
Yeah.
And so I did. And when I got there, he said, you know, you're going to take some grief for being here today.
Yeah.
I said, oh, I don't think so. He goes, Charlie, mark my words. You're going to take hell for being with me today. I said, I don't care. It's the right thing to do. And he said, but since you came, we were sitting just like this in the back of the Beast, the big car.
Yeah.
Right? And since you did, would you introduce me? And I said, Mr. President, it'd be an honor.
Yeah.
He goes, well, please do. He said, did you just say what's ever on your heart about me, about the Recovery Act, the stimulus, and what we're doing? And then I'll come up and I'll say my thing, and that'll be it. Is that all right? I said, you're the commander-in-chief. It's just fine with me. So we walked in the auditorium. I go to the podium. He stays back. I give what I think is a proper introduction to the President of the United States, and I conclude it by saying, you know, please give a warm Florida welcome for President Barack Obama. Place goes wild.
Right.
He comes up to the podium. He shakes my hand, and we embraced.
Right.
And somebody took a picture of that.
Yep.
And that was it for me.
That was it. Yeah.
That was it, man. And you know, and it wasn't just because I was a Republican embracing, literally, a Democratic president.
He was a black
I
man.
later came to sense what was really going on.
Yeah.
He was America's first black president.
So
Broke my heart.
So here's the thing. Here's a pushback on that, though.
Yeah.
So I do agree that him being a first black president brought out all sorts of racist trolls within the country and also in Florida. But the pushback is that Barack Obama also won the state twice.
Yeah, he did.
So he still was an immensely popular president. So if in fact his popularity, if in fact his popularity was so immense,
Good.
how did it affect you in particular?
Well, since that happened, I have gotten elected to Congress 3 times in a row as a Democrat. And I think I'm going to be the nominee for the Democrats to run against Ron DeSantis for governor. So I think it's been pretty damn cool.
So I know you got to run, but I need to talk to you about some black issues.
Let's do it.
Okay, so
But I got like 1 minute. I got a plane to catch. I can't help it. I
Okay.
got to go see my girl.
I understand.
All right.
All right. So here's the thing. Black voters are looking at this particular race and they're not really energized. Okay.
Well, then they ought to think about Val Demings. That'll get them energized.
Well-
She's great, by the way.
Well, yeah.
She's going to be our next U.S. senator, and she's going to do what I couldn't do. She's going to beat Rubio.
Well, talking specifically with you, assuming that you get into the office, I looked on your website. You had a lot of great things. There are things that are very popular as far as decriminalization of marijuana or whatnot. But let's talk about economic policy here.
Sure.
And in your position, there are a number of different things that you could actually do as governor as far as enhancing the black economic position.
Yeah.
By, I know you mentioned
Minority contracting.
minority contracting. That's
Damn right.
exactly what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
How do you foresee doing that as well and keeping that going outside of you being in office? Let's say you're, 4 years. You only have 4 years. How do you sustain?
I don't only have 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Good point. I'm glad you hit that.
Yeah.
Well, let me, and the first part first.
Yeah.
So minority contracting, I think, is extremely important.
Okay.
I'm all for it, 100%, 1,000%.
Right.
So would institute it, try to get laws passed to enhance it, and fight for folks. That's
Right.
exactly what I'd do. Now, to your point about how many years could I serve as governor, the Florida Constitution
Okay.
says that you can serve no more than 2 consecutive terms.
Okay.
I've served 1 term, no consecutive nothing. So if I am fortunate enough to win, which I believe I will be, then if the people are willing, they can reelect me as their governor if they want.
So how? Okay. Well,
Now I really, one more. Hit me.
okay.
Hit me hard.
Okay. Your messaging to black voters who are not interested. I know you mentioned Val Demings, right? But
She's great.
You're gonna,
Yeah,
but
man.
you're gonna need black voters here.
How am I going to energize them? You want to know the answer?
How are we going to energize black voters who are feeling apathy? Like, point blank, they don't see the benefit of either voting in this election or voting against DeSantis, who they may say, I don't like him, but he may increase my economic stature, right?
Doubtful. Not for you.
But I'm just saying. But I've heard that. Though. I've heard black voters say that. Like there is.
That's crazy, man.
But I'm telling you.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
But he's doing the opposite.
Okay.
He's making it harder for black folks to vote.
Yes, I agree with that.
He just eliminated 2 African-American congressional seats.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy is on the other side of this. And you know what he said about Andrew Gillum when he was challenging him?
Yes.
And he did his
up.
first radio interview? He goes, let's not monkey this up.
I get he's a
that
white
son of a
supremacist.
gun is a bad person.
But I get he's a white supremacist. I get that.
Well, bingo.
Right. But my question is,
Yeah.
how are you going to encourage people, let's say black voters who are either
Yep.
in the middle or have apathy in this election?
Several ways.
How are we going to tell them that I'm the guy for you that's not only increase your civil profile, but your economic profile?
Yeah. Well, I'm the guy who brought about automatic restoration of rights in Florida.
Okay.
Under my administration and my governorship, 155,000 people got their rights restored. Subsequent to that, we had Scott and now DeSantis, and it's been a drip of nothing. And why did I do it? Because I believe in what we talked about earlier, God. And I believe in forgiveness. And I know that everybody deserves a second chance. That's one part of it. The other part, you mentioned it earlier, Barack Obama. I guarantee you, if I'm the nominee, he's going to be coming around Florida with me, and I look forward to it, and we're going to come on your podcast if you'll allow us, together.
Okay. Well, what policies, though?
Policies?
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier. Minority contracts, economic expansion, make sure that people get a living wage. And now we got to go. I love you, brother.
Okay. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Yes.
Honor to be with you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Governor.
Let's hope to see you again soon.
Yes, best of luck.
Dear Black Culture, we just had a vibrant discussion with the former governor and current Congressman Charlie Crist. We were originally scheduled to go for an hour, but unfortunately we had to cut the interview short. Nevertheless, we are thankful for him for jumping on this podcast and not thinking it's robbery to engage with us at Uncultured Bias. I say us because this podcast is in fact a community podcast. Always has been, always will be. When I started this pod journey, my intent was to have an incredible conversation surrounding Black culture, our culture. Today was no different. I wanted our discussion to be a wide-ranging, far-reaching, and introspective. Now, I didn't get to talk about everything, and hopefully maybe we can revisit the conversation at a later date, preferably before Election Day. But I want to display the dynamic of the Black American experience. Black people's viewpoints on social issues are often more nuanced, and it matches our diverse group experiences. Yet even in our diversity experiences, there is still a connectivity that binds us all. That's the beauty of being Black. Now, we may operate in different mounds and silos of the political perspective, but we generally have a hive mind when it comes to uplifting our people collectively. My hope is that the congressman felt that not only on this podcast, but on his journey in the primary towards the gubernatorial mansion. Now, we need him to see that despite us not being on a monolith in our opinions, the conversations are often the same, and it surrounds how we as a people need to continue to advance and progress. The ultimate question is, does he see the value of our causes? And do Black voters see his beliefs in those values? And will we reward him with another shot at the governor's seat? Does he actually want to bring about lasting change in our communities? Or is it simply just another political hustle? With that being said, I couldn't think of a better song to write out to. But before we get into that, I want to leave you with a quote from one of society's great orators, leaders, and philosophers, the late and great Malcolm X. I have no mercy or compassion in me for a society that will crush people and then penalize them for not being able to stand up under the weight. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, beautiful people, we ride out.
making short-term goals. When the weather falls, just put away the leathers and put ice on the gold. Chilly with enough bail money to free a big Willie. High stakes, I got more at stake than Philly. Shopping sprees, copping 3 deuce fever, yeses, fully loaded, yes. Bouncing in the Lex Luger, tire smoke like Buddha. 50 G's to the crap shooter, niggas can't fade me. Chrome stocks beaming through my peripheral. I see you scheming. Stop dreaming, I leave your body steaming. Niggas is fiending, what's the meaning? I'm leaning on any nigga intervening with the sound of my money machining. My cup runneth over with hundreds. I'm one of the best niggas that done it. 6 digits and running, y'all niggas don't want it. I got the Godfather flow, the Don Juan DeMarco. Swear to God, don't get it fucked up.